Hey visionaries, Chris right here with the Royal Realty Group, brokered by eXp Realty. Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process, but we are here to help you throughout the way. Feel free to reach out to us on all social media platforms at Royal Realty Group TX. Now enjoy the show with Cuff and Mo.
What up, though?
Man, I heard you had an interesting day today.
Oh my God, dude.
It had to be. You called me that hour of the morning.
I did. Got up early. Focused, ready to attack the day, ready to win the day, and got some stuff done at work. Had a meeting. Got done about 8:45. I had already kind of done my morning meditation. Gone through the meeting. I made lunch for my daughter. Ready to go. We're gonna hit the door and make it happen. And wife was gone for the day. Had the whole house to myself. Work from home or whatever. So in my mind, I've already forecasted we're gonna win today, right? A couple of days ago, I was driving to the grocery store. The brake light popped on my dashboard along with my battery, and I thought, man, that's kind of strange. You know what I mean? And didn't really think anything of it. Turned the car off, turned it back on. It was gone. All right, we're cool. Fast forward to today, I'm driving down the street, taking her to school, no problems. Get to the school, drop her off, walk her to the door, give her a kiss, have a great day, that type of thing. By the time I walk back, bro, I get in the car, and I'm like, why is my dash, like my navigation system, completely black? That's kind of weird. Where's the radio? It's gone. And then I'm feeling that, it's Texas, bro. It's hot at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's already, 95 or whatever. So I'm like, why is this AC just getting weaker and weaker and weaker? So I'm trying to hit the button, make it go up, and it's not happening. And so finally, I got ready to say, all right, let's just make moves. Car doesn't move. So that's how my day started, man. I had to, shout out to Salas. Big ups to you, my man. Thank you for helping your boy out. Ended up having to change my battery. Found out that my alternator's probably shot too. So. Welcome back to the TheVisionLab podcast. It's your boy Cuff, alongside my co-host, Mr. Ryan Mosley. Well, we got a banger today, and I'm very, very excited. Who we got on the show?
You've been very excited about this for a couple of weeks
sure.
now. Cuff, today's guest is a native of Arlington, Texas. He is the owner of the business coaching company Assist You to Win. Please welcome Derrick Butts to the TheVisionLab podcast.
Oh, man, thank you so much, gentlemen, for having me. I'm excited to be here, get to reunite with old alumni, Martin High School.
Shout out to the Warriors.
Yeah, 96, the best class.
99.
Okay.
All divine. So I see you rocking the Martin colors too?
Had to, you're right?
Throwback
Had to.
colors,
Just throwback colors. Yeah, yes.
Now they gone to that silver and black.
Right. Yeah, this is the original colors. This is how we used to do it.
Yeah.
We used to win district championships all the time. That's about as far as I can say that we would win. We want to say we won states, but no, we never did that. But
you won the state of mind though.
There you go. I like that. We'll have to say that.
Yeah, we got long history, man. You and I met circa 95, 96-ish.
Yeah.
My best friend, shout out to Travis Johnson, you were dating his older sister.
Yeah.
So I would be upstairs hanging out, playing video games, watching TV, whatever, 14, 15 years old. And D-Butts would, come up there, and he's dating his sister, or Tanya, Travis's sister or whatever. And so that's kind of how we got to know each other.
Yep.
And my boy Travis, when we were, I don't want to say recruited, but as we were approaching, so back then I was 8th grade was junior high, right? Or 9th grade was junior high, excuse me. So we hadn't converted to the full 4-year system, in which most people are a part of, right?
Gotcha.
So when we got to our sophomore years, they were like, yo, you got to choose whether or not you're going to go basketball or football.
Yeah.
But back then, D Butts ran the show on the court, man. It's the truth.
I hear it. I mean, you and Adam have both been excited about this for a couple of weeks.
And that's another thing. So, we're talking about full circle, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Shout out to our AV guy, Adam. I mean, does everything for us. What's crazy is Adam first got his, runway with you into the industry, producing a lot of the stuff that you do for Assist You to Win.
I mean, producing it all, right?
Yeah.
We knew we could get on a microphone and talk, but Adam came along and was able to bring life to it.
Yeah.
So I walked through the building today, turned the corner, then I see you first off, and then I turn the corner and I see Adam. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's a reunion.
It's a multi-reunion.
It is.
And so it's real interesting, man. Like, I think this had to happen. It's really full circle if you really think about it, from back in the day in high school to Adam, and you're actually going to be the officiant for his wedding coming up in September.
Yeah. During our time together, it's one thing to have a person that has skill. It's another thing to have a person that has heart. And we really just connected, and it naturally took our connection beyond just what we do from a living. It took us to life. And so we're doing life together with him and Lacey, and we're excited being able to meet his parents. And, so in September, we're going to make this thing happen. And
we'll see you there for sure.
Shout out to Adam and Lacey.
Big up to Lacey.
Yeah.
Lacey, you got to come get on the show with us, please.
Absolutely.
I want to talk acting with you. But, talking full circle, I want to go back to what happened, because I honestly thought about this today, right? And obviously, this is a growth mindset podcast show. And so life is going to throw you some BS from time to time, right? I had the day lined up, ready to go win, right? That was my mentality. But then, boom, something happened that took me off that course. And that happens to us in so many different walks of life. In that moment, of course, and the initial thing was like, man, this is, screwed up my day. I was going to do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. But then as I started to think about it, I want to give a big shout out to a guy named Chris Doris, motivational speaker out of, I think it's Boston. And he talks about trying to get back to zero. So if you were to take a linear line, right, and you put zero at the, in the middle, and then -5, -10 to +5, +10, right? Life is about never getting too high on the highs or too low on the lows.
Yeah.
And trying to always just stay even keel. So I remembered, in that moment of being frustrated, how do I get back to zero? All right, well, let's just look at the reality. The car's not working. It can be fixed. If it can't be fixed, so be it. Like, you can get another vehicle. Like, that's not the last vehicle that's ever going to be made, right? I was fortunate enough, and I started looking at this, and this is like true growth mindset. So, like, this is me growing in reality, right? I started looking up and thinking, okay, I had people that were willing to help me in my time of need.
Yeah.
I had the capacity to go out and purchase a new battery, right? But then the real growth started happening where I started to evolve myself and say, it doesn't have to be the end of the world, right? Relative to where you are, you do a lot of motivational speaking, a lot of coaching and things along that nature. How important is it for people to understand that it doesn't have to be a zero-sum game?
Yeah, no, I think you said it well. So, you summed it up. I think as you were talking, I think about FPN. There's things that we have full control over. There's things we have partial control. Then there's things that we have no control. And then you really had to slow yourself down to look and say, what do I have control over? And you have control over your attitude.
Right.
And in the midst of that interruption, it was connections that got you back to zero. You're able to have a phone, call somebody, talk to somebody, and they come to your aid. And that's what it's like. Sometimes it's wisdom that comes to our aid. Sometimes it's people that come to our aid. Sometimes we have to just slow down and let ourselves bring us back to that place of zero. And it's causing us to just do what we can with what we have and not allow the situation to cause us to make reactionary choices, but we made responsible choices. So that's really what it's all about. It's allowing life to happen, but not allowing it to continue to take us beyond just that moment.
Right.
So that's big shouts to what you did.
And I appreciate it. And that's actually kind of like my follow-up or next question, right? So a lot of times we'll allow a bad moment in time to be elongated, and then it trickles into other areas of our lives. from your perspective, what can people do? What can our visionaries do to impede that progress of it going on and on and on?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is to realize that there's purpose in everything, right? There's purpose in storms. There's purpose in dirt. There's purpose in our mess. There's just purpose in anything and everything that happened. You know, I think about my life. You know, I remember I was doing a keynote with Lisa Nichols, and I titled the message, "The Mistakes That I Made That Ultimately Made Me." And it's not always the shiny moments, it's the dark moments. Mm-hmm. And so it's really allowing ourselves to allow those things to do something either in us or through us, and not allowing those things to destroy us. It's those things that really happen that really get to determine and see really what are you made of. We can read from an intake a lot of powerful quotes and powerful stories, but it's not until you're in it to know, did that story really even mean anything to you?
Or you just reading the words.
Right. And that's where I see a lot of people, they consume content because they're addicted to the new, the shiny, the next thing, but content's really not changing them. And content that gets into our hearts, that's what changes us. And so that's really what I would say to that visionary, that, man, you're always going to develop a plan without the problem. But the problem is really there to test you to see how much do you believe in the big plan that you say you have. You know, and I think about like hurdlers, right? In high school, or in track or any type of sport, and the hurdlers, they live their whole life to jump over something. And that's really where success is for us, is that we know there's going to be a hurdle. We don't always know how high, we don't always know when, but we know that we have the ability to get over the very thing that gets in our way. And when you can do that, now you can go finish that race.
Wow.
I mean, obviously these two know you a lot better than I do, but I am in full agreement in regards to your sentiment on things. You know, one of the things I kind of live by is like, no matter what happens in the midst of a day, the sun's going to come up the next day.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of personal experience with it over the past 3-4 years now to this point, but a nice little run of ups and downs. When it comes to the people you work with, and I guess we'll get into assist you to win at some point here in a second. When it comes to like the people you work with, how's that? Because obviously, you know, we've all got life experience, right? And the people you're working with, you know, on a business level, they might not have the same level of experience you have. How do you kind of, I don't want to say input or convey, but how do you get your point across in regards to like, okay, here's how things kind of need to be if we're going to work together? Because I'm sure you're to the point now you don't just work with anybody.
Man, you hit it spot on. You're 100%. No, we don't. I think when we first started off, your passion sometimes allows you to go after more than you're really supposed to. And I had to learn throughout this season that just because you have the capacity to do something doesn't mean that you just because you have the competency to do it doesn't mean you have the capacity to do it, right? And so I had to really get to the place to learn to say no and just really pick on my yeses. But to answer your question, Mo, you know, you think about it, the first thing I say is a statement that people that are around me to hear is that you build what you birth, that you drop what you adopt. So I say that because it's the answer that the answer lies within the individual. So when I come alongside to help somebody, it's not for me to tell them what to do. It's for me to help them discover what's already there. It's already there. It's already within them. So they define what the win is. We just bring the principles. We just bring strategy. We just bring maybe clarity to that and then surround that with accountability. So I always know that right person based on them being receptive and being an action taker. People that are not action takers, they're not ready. And the good part about that is we have places for those. Keep consuming the content on social media. Keep consuming the content off of a website. But if you're going to really dive in and work with us, you have to be a person that says, I'm going to take this and put it into action because it's results that people want. They don't just want to hear another ism or another sermon or another story. They want results. And so that's what really the determination is.
How did you get started with this?
So I love that question because how I really got started with Assist You to Win is I had to examine the pieces of my life to find the purpose of my life. So it really goes all the way back to Little League Baseball when I was a shortstop, and then it goes to basketball when I was a point guard, and my position was all about helping people get in the right spot, give them the ball at the right time so that we could ultimately win, right? So it was that. It was then seeing myself help churches and then help people. And so I really saw that the best thing I could do was be number one at being number two. And it takes you to be in some confident in your own skin to understand that you're not going to always be on the limelight. You're going to help people stay on the limelight.
I'm telling you right now, I'm going to use that in my next Zoom meeting for my personal business. Like when people say, well, what role do you play? Right? Look here, I'm just here to help everybody else be number one. I got no problem being number two. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now.
I love it. I love it.
You know, since we kind of went back, right? The second part of our name is lab.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times
like that.
we go into the lab to figure things out, right? To make sure that the right chemicals are there, the right solutions are there, so on and so forth, right? And so when we look at that as an individual, you are the shiny object that you were talking about now. But you went through some stuff to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
What did your lab look like?
Man, we don't have time for it all, but let me tell you though. So my lab looks like divorce. My lab looks like getting fired from a church, right? My lab looks like having to understand the difference between charisma and character. Ooh. When I see my 20s, I was charismatic. I had people that liked me. I was homecoming king out of a high school.
A big high school,
yeah. It was at the time the largest in the state at that time. So I knew how to get people to like me. I had to top that mentality when it comes to a story. You hear the story, you got to have to say something to top it, even though you know you were lying, but you could convince them. So
that's what we call a one-upper.
One-upper, there you go. That's it. So I went through those things, and then in my 30s, I realized the statement that most people say is that your charisma will get you to the top, your character will keep you at the top.
Yes, sir.
But I learned that statement when I was at the bottom, right? I got a baby. I'm going through a divorce. And I had to realize that, again, there's purpose in all of that pain. And so as I started to not worry about others' thoughts and started worrying about what do you think about you, Derrick, I really went through transformation and found out really that I didn't love me. I didn't like me. I had a lot of hidden things that I call the turtle syndrome, right? I kept people away because I knew how to talk, but I had all these, I was sensitive and I had all these issues. And I had to really work on Derrick and to find out that the best of me was all of me, that I didn't have to put on in order for somebody to accept me. And as I start going through that character development, here comes the purpose again. Man, you got something you got to do, but you got to do it authentic. You got to do it transparent. You got to do it vulnerable. You got to do it real, because that's what people need. You can fake for a second, but truly, if you're going to have life change and do life with people, you got to show them your life.
So you mentioned all the things that you went through. In your lab, were you going to counseling? Where did you seek counsel, or was this just taking self-inventory of who you were at that particular point in time, recognizing the difference in where you want to be? Like, what did that process look like?
Yes. So it was a combination, right? It's the combination, yeah. So, of course, I always say people change for one of three reasons. For me, I won't go through all of them, but for me, it was the when you hurt enough that you have to, you'll figure it out. So that sent me to saying, I'm tired of faking the funk. So it started with self. But then I needed people to assist me. So I did go to counseling, right? I went to counseling, and then from counseling, I went to personal development. I went to John Maxwell, and I was always a reader and a learner from him, but it was more to learn to speak, not learn to get. And so I had to learn to be selfish. First, consume the content so it changes my life, not just so that I can communicate it to somebody else. So I went to personal development. I went to a Lisa Nichols conference, and during that experience, being a kid that grew up in church, I had like an altar experience without an altar call, and found myself as a grown man in his 40s breaking down. I'm surrounded by like 300 women. There's probably 13 men in the room. Wow. And the best thing that probably that happened was there weren't a lot of men, because I didn't need locker room guys saying rah, rah, rah. I needed the sensitivity and of a woman to say it's okay in this moment to break down and cry. And I'm telling you, as my tears were shedding during that meeting, it was just healing. And it was like, now you can grow. And it brings me back to it. I feel it. I get there every time I talk about it. So I say to you, though, with that, it was the combination of all of it. I had to have counselors. I had to have myself. But when it was all said and done, I had to do the work.
Yeah.
I had to put the work in.
You know, you said something really apropos, and I think it's important for us right now. You had a team, right, of people that helped you get back and recalibrate and start to work on becoming the best version of yourself. And one of the folks that have helped us since day one.
From the
right?
jump.
From the jump. And part of our team, right, part of our tribe is Edwina Brown and Jacoby over at Blowing Smoke. Y'all check out this video.
Hey everyone, Edwina Brown here, owner-operator of Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. We're located at 1604 North Interstate 35E in Lancaster, Texas. We would love for you to come see us. We stand on the 3 C's, which are cigars, our community, and our culture. Cigars, we have over 300 SKUs in our humidor and it's still growing. Come check it out, a massive humidor. We also love our culture here, which we're about customer service, as well as community, which is why we're excited to partner with the TheVisionLab podcast. So come check us out.
Shout out to EB, man. Thank you so much for your love and support. We promise you guys we could not be here without her.
Yeah, 1604 North I-35 in Lancaster. If you're anywhere in the southern part of the Metroplex, get to Blowing Smoke. Great cigars, great staff, great ambiance or atmosphere, whatever term you'd like to use. Make sure you get to Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge.
So you sought counsel, right? Yeah. We recognize that this is not who I want to be. This is not the Derrick Butts that I want to represent, my kids to know, etc. You sought counsel, and then here comes out of all this, assist you to win. So let's jump into that. So you're a point guard, high school, college. What is assist you to win? Talk to our visionaries. Let them know all about it.
Yeah, so assist you to win, the connecting place for winners. Public speaking, business coaching, it's all about 3 words, clarity. We help people come into clarity. Until you know where you are and where you want to go, you don't need the next word, it's strategy. Too many times people are looking for an answer, but they haven't located where they are. The third word that we do is it's accountability. I always say peer-to-peer accountability, challenging conversations, causing people to live up to the best version of themselves, calling them out on the tough things. That's what Assist You to Win does. So we do that through one-on-one group coaching, and the circles that we create are intimate enough that people get to know each other through business, through life, but the accountability. We believe in MIA, is what we call massive, immediate, and perfect action. We just believe that you got to take action, and you got to do it now, and you got to do it when you don't have it all together. And with that is where we're seeing just tremendous growth in both people's personal life as well as their business. I always say there's a point where your business will only grow to the proportion that you are growing as an individual. And some people stop their business because they stop their growth. And so we really challenge both ends of the spectrum. Maybe what hooks people is, hey, there's going to be predictability and profitability increase in your business. But what sustains them is the fact that they changed throughout the process.
I know there's people watching this that are going to say, okay, I've never heard of Derrick Butts. What qualifies you to coach me in my business?
Yeah, so first off, I've lived it. I got a chance to lead in one of the largest retailers in America with AutoNation. So a lot that I did with them, I was one of the only African-American general managers here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I took a store where no one could turn a profit. Within the first 4 months, the store was losing $300,000 per month, not per year, per month. A car dealership, how has that happened? It happened. They were doing that. And for 4 different people came into the store. Not one of them could turn a profit. Within the first 90 days, we lost $8. Within the 4th month, we turned a profit, and we continued to turn a profit to the place that AutoNation was able to sell it to, won't name them, to a profit, not a loss now. We totally turned that place around. I use that to say most people connect because they have a business and they want to scale it. If I can turn $300,000 around, most of the people that come to me are not losing $300,000 a month. They're wanting to make $300,000. So if you got a product, we got systems, we got ways to be able to help you learn how to have a signature talk around it, learn how to put offers that are irresistible, learn how to automate things, learn how to have clients on demand. That's what we do for the people in that degree. So we get qualified through that. We get qualified because We did it ourselves. I went into an industry that didn't know my name at all, the real estate industry, and built a business that was over 6 figures the first year. And we did it all based on social media, based on speaking, based on these principles that we talk about. We help people not have a stressful business, yet have an effective as well as an efficient business where you can do more and actually gain more and do less.
Hey, he's speaking my language. I mean, the personal journey that I'm on right now. Now I want to have a conversation with him offline about some stuff. But I dig it all. I see why you and Adam were excited to have this interview. Pushing the ball forward, right? Assist you to win. Mm-hmm. Business coaching, all of that. I'm the business owner,
okay,
right? And so one way or the other, I find Derrick Butts. What is, from your perspective, what's the biggest hurdle for somebody to clear before you're like to where you can say internally, you know what, I can be effective with this client? Because a lot of times we've had people on the show, and a lot of times, you stop me if I'm wrong, it comes out of like, I was in my own way. Mm-hmm. And so if you're in your own way, you can't even worry about, okay, let me get some information from this person or get with assist you to win. So like, what's the biggest hurdle that you see people have internally before they can even begin to use your services?
Inside of our business, we're the wisest or the smartest, and we already know our business. Mm-hmm. And most people do because they study that thing that they want to do. Either they've been doing it their entire life, they have this passion for it, and so they're very smart. And smart people are smart. But many times we don't see the areas that we need to have an aha moment in because we have to see everything. And so one of the biggest hurdles is saying it's okay to receive assistance. I think that right there in itself is what is one of the biggest hurdles. Most people either leave a job, now start a business, and they want to be in control. You're still in control of your business. We're just saying, hey, let's think about it from a person that's not in it and in the weeds every day. And let me show you maybe what you might not be seeing so that now you can get what you say you want to have. At the end of the day, I only win when you win.
So it's interesting because I just had this conversation earlier today. I was dealing with a client that's used their particular product for 40 years. That's a long time. I'm 41, right? Like, that is a long time to use one specific product and never look outside. And so a lot of times you get tunnel vision and you're so, every, turn, every nook, every cranny, like of whatever, it is because you've been dealing with that for 40 years. But the problem with that is you don't know what's outside. Mm-hmm. You don't know if we can make your business more efficient. You don't know if you can have a resource that can make it more effective. You don't know if you can get higher profits. You don't know if your turnover can be less, right? So it's very interesting that you say that but a lot of times you got to look externally to help you internally, right? So that you can grow and be a better person, be a better business or whatever. So I'm interested in assist you to win. What am I going to get? Am I going to get Derrick, right? Because a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's fantastic. He's great. He's helped all these businesses, et cetera. But I get to talk to Cuff, and I want to talk to Derrick. Like, do I get you? What does the program look like?
Yeah, so great question. So, 100% you get to work with me because we only work with the businesses based on our availability. So for a one-on-one coaching, everything we really do is wraps into 90 days. And the reason for it is I really believe that's a good amount of time to have change be implemented as well as analyzed, and then you can start seeing results. So I only take people into 90-day increments. So with it, we only keep 7 spots for one-on-one clients because some people don't like group and they want to just deal just with their business. So we keep 7 slots for those individuals, and then we run group circles. And normally a group is within 20 people. It's inside that group. And so the other group gets that. Beyond that, they can come join courses. We have courses pretty much once a month where we'll teach a course. That's kind of where we do things to the masses. Social media, we give a lot of stuff away just right there. But if they're wanting to work deep in with us, normally we're working with about 30 people per 90 days. And a lot of times those same 30 continue to stay. Yeah. And so from an availability standpoint, one-on-one, that's a tough place to get to with us. group is the easiest route to really move into, and it's a great starting point.
And a lot of people are, like you're saying, kind of renewing and staying with you
Yeah.
to continue to grow, scale, etc.
Correct.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Like, I mean, you know the journey I'm on or whatever, and so he speaks my language already. So this is super cool. I'm glad y'all got him booked.
Yeah. So what's different from Assist You to Win from anyone else or any other, coaching and
What's your differentiator?
yeah. What sets you guys apart?
Yeah, I think number one, it's we're way more about impact than income. Our model takes care of the income side of everything, but the impact is really what it's about. So at this stage of it, because again, it's evolving, and what we've learned is we only take clients that are in our wheelhouse. We only take clients that we know we can make that impact with, and we take clients that we know are going to be ready to go into action. If not, we have things in places for people that we're able to politely say, maybe right now this is the place that you need to be because this is kind of where you are, and let's just see if we can grow that through this journey that way. The other differentiator for us is really it's the style. I think everybody has a certain fit. If you go to a seed, the seeds will all grow everywhere, but the soil has to be right. Mm-hmm. So it's sometimes not the information you're receiving, but it's also who's giving it, how you're getting it, and do you flow with that type of person? And that's our thing, is I only speak in places that I fit, and I only coach people that I fit with, right? Yeah. So we say it all the time, man. We'll speak to thousands on a stage, but we will only coach the individuals that it's going to make it work for.
So with your course, well, not the courses, but your one-on-one, there's 7 slots. What's the cadence on that? Is that weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? And then same question for your group setting, the second set.
One-on-one starts 4, 3, and 2. So in that 90 days, we first start off 4 times a month. We go weekly. And the reason for it is because we have a signature program that's called the DGCP method for winners: dream, growth, change, push. So people have to understand the philosophy in which we go off of. So the beginning, we meet every single week because we're talking principles. We're really getting to know one another. We're really diving into where you are, where you want your business to go. What are some of the things that you've done? Because I always tell people during the G is the growth. I have to look at your game film to really help you with your game plan. So I want to know, what have you been doing? What has worked? Because there's things that have been working. And what happens many times with people, what was working, they stop doing because the next shiny thing. And sometimes you just got to return back to the basics. So we go 4, then we go 3, then we go 2. And the reason for that is because as we move forward, it's more about accountability and action than it is about anything new. And so we then have to give time for that person to go to act. Because what happens, people love new content. They want more. They just want to consume. Well, if you're only consuming new things, when are you having the time to do any of the things that we say? So we want to always have that. We start our sessions off. How can we celebrate you, and what did you do this week based on the information that we talked about last week? I've been on calls now where when people say I haven't done anything, then we need to get off the call because there's no
What are we
need,
doing here, man?
Yeah, there's no need for us to talk unless you need me to go back through what we talked about before. Maybe there's an understanding, maybe there's a knowledge breakdown, maybe you need me to go back through that. Yes, I'll do that. But for us just to be here, I don't want you on crack. Right? Where you're just consuming and you can't be a crack addict that goes to work. There's only a few of them, right? That can be on crack and still go to work.
Got to be functional.
Well, that's how we want the people to be, right? We don't want you just to get hooked to our voice, that it's soothing, it feels good, it's this. We want it to be where you're in action.
And then let's go back to the group.
Okay.
So what is the group cadence?
4, 3.
Same thing.
Yeah,
okay,
same
cool.
thing.
So how do you, running this operation, manage or balance? You got 7 slots and then you got 20 people over here. How are you balancing roughly 30 different businesses, people, personalities, identities, etc.? How are you balancing that and knowing how to converse, communicate, and encourage, and push them in the right direction?
Well, the big thing is because we deal with principles, right? Principles are transferable truths that work for whoever works them. So because I deal in such principles, the principles are the same. The product many times changes. And so because what we do is we help you come into such a great place of clarity, when the clearer you are, the easier it is for me to help you with the strategy. And many times it's just like in a flight. The entire time you're flying, many times the plane's off target, but it's only off target a little bit of degrees. So many times businesses are not like widely off. It's just these tweaks they got to make. And if they'll make the tweak and they can be consistent, they can get some long-term results. So we help the tweaks, and I say it all the time, I just put the bumpers into the lane. You roll the ball, you'll never get back in that gutter. We're the bumpers. We just keep you in the lane. Your job is to know what your targets are, and then we just say, apply pressure. Go hit them harder. Go hit them faster. Go get them. And that's really why we can do it, is we deal strictly in principles.
When did you know this needed to be a full-blown operation? Like so you had a lot of life experience and all that, but at a certain point you said, okay, I need to turn this into something, and like you said, use word to scale it. Like what was the moment where you said, okay, D Butts, like you've got something here, like you need to put all your energy into assist you to winning?
You know, I guess when you start going up corporate ladders and realize that inside of corporations, you're just as gifted, you're just as talented. And then there's people that never will get what they need because no one's giving back to that level and nobody's really saying, hey, I got a heart for this area. So Assist You to Win saw that was this place and space that we were supposed to play in. We were supposed to be the group that said, if you got the secret sauce, let us come connect with you. Let us take it to that next place. So now it's a matter of, because where I'm at right now is again at that place. Do we scale even further? Now we got this thing to the place that it'll do 6 figures on 1 day a week. That's a great place to be in, that we work really 1 day a week and it produces 6 figures. So now the question is, do you want to work 2 days a week doing this? 3 days a week? How many people do you really want to do? And so we're at that place of asking that question right now. We realize that the next stage for us is in developing other people that want to do what I do and then train the trainer and really now can scale through people.
Yeah. You got to make copies.
Got to make copies.
Now, are you scaling within Assist You to Win, or are you scaling to make like more of a franchise type model? Where now I can go out and do, Cuffs cheat code, right? Or whatever it is. Mo can go out and do Mo's thing. Or are we going to be underneath the Assist You to Win corporate name?
So, there's pros and cons to both, right? There's pros and cons to both. I think we take every situation and we look at it. At the end of the day, I think it's not the seating capacity only, it's the sending capacity. And for me, if you're tied to a name and your name is what it is all about, it's okay to me because it still embraces Assist You to Win to me, so it kind of depends on the individual. Naturally, if a trainer comes in and we pour into them and do all the things that we want to do with them, and they want to go off and do it, man, I think more power to you. Go ahead. And then naturally, I can always be the coach to the coach. So there's ways for that system to work. But then there's some people that function better, not from a CEO, but from a manager situation. And they like to be in a place where they don't have to create all the vision. They don't have to create all the marketing. They don't have to create all that. They just get to just do the part they love, talk to the people. Yeah. So in each situation, it's just based on the individual.
So you obviously are very successful at this. And you're pouring out a lot. Like I can tell a lot of energy is given off to all of your clients and everything that you're doing. When do you get a chance to recharge? And who helps you to recharge?
Yeah, I love it. Great question. So because we've made it where we only work at a certain period, our recharge is in our coach. I'm 100% advocate that every coach needs a coach. I have a coach. So for me, John Maxwell, Lisa Nichols, today I got a Vincent Campbell. These are the 3 voices, Derrick Golden, 4 voices that speak back into me. And on a consistent basis, they're pouring back into my life. And so it's no sense for me to say, hey, here's the business, here's what everybody needs, and then don't have it myself. So I make sure that at every stage of my business that we have these things. And so that's how it happens on our end.
I want to push the ball forward a little bit.
Proceed.
So you got a big event coming up next month, right? I believe it's September 19th. right?
14th.
September 14th. Excuse me. So let's talk a little bit about Finish Strong 22, Start Stronger 23.
Man, you're so close. Everything you said is better. But it's it.
Start better.
That's
Start
it.
better.
Yeah, start better. Right. Finish 22 strong, start 23 better. Yeah. I love it.
So what is this? What are we talking about?
So big event to us. So here you go. Here's the model. Big event to us is only 20 people allowed to be there. That's big to us, though. So 20 people will be allowed to be in the room. It's from 9 to 4. It's an all-day event, one day. And it's all about getting momentum coming down the runway so you can take off in 23. People that start their goal setting on January 1st or December 31st are way too late. We have already have everything we're going to do in 23 planned out. It's all on a calendar. It's all mapped out. All of our marketing stuff is already in place. So we're dripping things now for things that are going to happen in April of next year. So we're teaching people that same system. Because if you can't forecast your future where it's on a sheet of paper, how are you really planning everything that you're doing?
Yes, sir.
So we teach the habits to crush any goal. We're going to talk about forecasting your future, and then we're going to mastermind your biggest opportunity right there on that day. That's what we're doing that day.
Can we get 2 complimentary seats? Because we got some stuff we're in the works on. We feel like we're really close. And I know I just met you like an hour ago,
Okay, so guess
but I feel
what?
like TVL people we would highly benefit from being able to be a fly on the wall.
Okay, so guess
Don't
what?
mind us. We'll be quiet.
22 people's in the room. You guys got 2 seats. 20 other people will be there. There
My
you go.
man.
There we go. So there you go. You have not because you asked not. The rest of
right.
you that see it, you don't have it. I'm just telling you. Sorry. So there you go. But yeah, so that's that.
Now, is this an event that happens annually or once or twice a year? Or how does that work?
So I've been teaching a webinar every Monday in the month of August concerning this event. So I've been taking people through the bite-sized pieces of it. And this portion right here is a portion that will happen every single year, right? We do it differently at different times. So like this one is our event that takes us in there. We have one last coaching group that happens starting in October. That's going to take people through the end of the year. And then we teach one class in the 23 called the Jordan year. Oh, I'm so excited about it.
I know you are.
Oh, I'm so excited about it. 23 is going to be a Jordan year. So we do that. And then we kind of just cycles through based on that. For the most part, you'll see us teach a class 1 month. You'll see a coaching group start the next. We have a conference that's going to happen, and then we just repeat that cycle throughout the time.
Now, is this the conference?
This is just a class. This
Okay.
is just a class. I loved it.
That actually is where I wanted to go. From an annual perspective, you kind of mapped out some of it, but what does a full year of Assist You to Win look like for all of our visionaries that may want to participate?
Yeah.
Maybe it's too late. Maybe they haven't gotten involved. Couldn't get signed up in time or whatever it is. What other events do you guys have going on?
Yeah, so 23, here you go. We're starting off 23 in January with the Jordan year. So that's what it's called, the Jordan year experience. That's a one-day class. Multiplying, when I do a one-day class, will happen 2 or 3 times through that month, giving more people opportunity to participate. But we keep the groups. There's only going to be 20 to 23 people inside of that group that day in order for us to make the impact. From there,
You got to have 23 people.
that's next year.
Okay.
I upped
Yeah,
it one
yeah,
person.
yeah.
This year is 22. Next year is 23. I don't know what we're going to do after that. But
Kobe.
so 23, I like that. So February starts a coaching group. So from February, March, April, coaching group. On 4/13 of April, it's the I Can conference. Woo! We're going to turn I Cans into I Dids, right? Helping people do that. That conference is going to be just flat out explosive. It'll be videography, photography. It'll be people that do graphics, all right there. So people that come to that conference, it turns into information in the first half, application in the second half. You leave with your stuff done. That's April. May, it's a scale up month. So all the people that went through the first portion, we teach a scale up class. It's all about scale. May, let's see, now we're June, July, we stop working. The only people I talk to during that time are our one-on-one clients. Me and my wife go on vacation. August, we pick back up into the classroom again. And then September, finish strong, start better. October, right down to a coaching group, and we're out of the year.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. There you go.
Before we shift gears, what was this being the Vision Lab? What was your original vision when you started Assist You to Win? And I'm curious if it's changed now that you're firmly in the throes of it.
Yeah, so When we first started, it was to have a $4.99 monthly subscription that 10,000 people would sign up for, and we would just teach lessons to them, and that was going to be Assist You to Win. We were just going to have $4.99, and everybody was going to sign up because, man, you're the best teacher and speaker out there, and all these people were going to get help, and you were just going to teach these lessons that you would just develop. Then you would travel the world and speak. That's where we started with Assist You to Win. That was the model. That was the thought process. And then we realized $4.99.
It's dirt cheap.
And people don't value it.
Gotta make that
And the
price
right
tag
people
higher.
that was going to take the information and do it wouldn't come sign up because it was too cheap. And cheap meant that everybody could do it. And they didn't want to be a part of everybody's.
What did 50 Cent say? And not to sidetrack us, right? But I saw an interview with 50 Cent. He said he was over in Europe and he was in the red light district, and certain things over there were kind of cheap. And he said he thought to himself, "Well, what do I need to be involved with that? Like, I'm rich. Like, why would I buy something that the dude on the street corner can go buy? Like, no." So I understand your sentiment very much.
Move that decimal.
Oh, we've moved it a couple times.
So have we reached that part of the show,
I
sir?
think so.
So it is time to land the plane. It's our segment. We wrap the show up, Mr. D. Butts.
Okay.
It's brought to you by the good folks at Sagamore Spirits. Thank you to Tim and everybody involved with this partnership. Those of you who know us know we don't have a product on the show unless we stand behind it. It is a beautiful rye. We're not necessarily rye drinkers to begin with, but we are now because of good folks at Sagamore Spirits. Thank you again to everybody who's got a role in this partnership. Get to your favorite goodie, Specs, Twin Liquors, whatever liquor store is available to you, and ask for Sagamore Spirits. Your cup, sir.
So, there we go. While Mo's doing that, I want to ask you this. So he kind of asked you a little bit about like what the original vision is. Yeah. What's the long-term vision for Assist You to Win?
Long-term vision.
Thank you.
Is that we would speak on stages as we are now. A couple weeks ago we did Mary Kay, we did Allstate. So we'll speak on corporate stages to touch the masses, and we will continue in the vein of impacting the people we're doing right now.
Cheers to that.
Growth and
Assist You to
impact.
Win. Don't shoot it.
I'm glad you told me that before you got there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure it was on my way. Uber.
Yeah, for sure. Mo?
We ask everybody this question. There's you and a round table. There are 5 other seats at the table. You get to have anybody you want at the table except for God or whatever religious deity you believe in. Who are the 5 people you want at your table?
I want Lisa Nichols at the table. I want T.D. Jakes at the table. I want John Maxwell at the table. I want Scott Wilson at the table. And I want my mother at the table.
Who is Scott Wilson?
Scott Wilson is the pastor, the lead pastor of Oaks Fellowship, and was the first mentor of my life.
I love that list. And Mom, there ain't nothing like a mother. You know what I mean? Always going to be there for us. And so I love the fact that you saved a seat for her. Before I get into my set of questions, we also have something else in common. I just learned that you're an avid golfer.
Yeah, as of late. So let's preface this. No, yes, I'm playing golf as much as I can I
You got to get out, man.
Man, we do.
So, we have our tournament every year in June. It was another successful tournament for us. Super proud of everyone that participated, that helped to support us in the Alzheimer's Association as well as the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So I got to give a plug to them as well. Hopefully we get a chance to connect and have you in the tournament in the future. But
Yes.
kind of talk to you a little bit offline about what we have going on in September as well. But how often do you get out there and play? Are you playing daily, or what's that look like?
So right now, since we left the pandemic and a lot of people are still doing replay, I watch church online. I'm part of the replay church. So I just replay somebody's church because I play golf on Sunday mornings. That's like my main. Yes, to all my preacher friends. Yes, I play golf on Sunday morning. So that's my main time of playing. We normally get out about 6:30, first 1 or 2 tee times in the morning on Sundays. And then I try to get out on either Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, one of those two.
What's your handicap?
I don't know.
He's brand new. He said he's
Are you brand new?
So I'm brand new to the place that I just started playing again. So, but I'm shooting anywhere from 86 to 94.
Okay, so
I'm a
we're
shooter.
right there.
Yeah.
We're right there.
Yeah. Depends on the course I'm at. I played Cowboys
Summertime,
and couldn't
too.
putt. I couldn't putt worth anything there, but
Well, it's summertime, and that heat, I promise you, man, it's going to add about 5 strokes to your game.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, D-Butts, listen, first of all, amazing interview. I want to say thank you for jumping into the lab with us. It's special for me because I knew you, in 96, and to see the growth and maturation and where you were versus where you are. I appreciate the story and peeling back the curtain and letting people know, like, I went through some real stuff. You know what I mean? Real quick, before we land the plane, I want to give you the opportunity to give all of your social media handles, any visionary that's out there that's tuning in that wants to connect with you. How can they get in contact with you?
Yeah. Well, first, before I give that out, I got to say something to you two. First and foremost, anytime you see any two people doing something together, that's powerful. So
We appreciate it.
To the Vision Lab, I wouldn't be sitting here if you guys didn't have vision. So because you have vision, we're sitting in this seat today. So I want to say shout out to you. Thanks for having me. Social media, it's real simple. It's Assist You to Win. ASSIST, the letter U, the number 2, win. You can put .com, go to our website. You can go Twitter. You can go Facebook. You can go Instagram. You can go LinkedIn. It's Assist You to Win. We keep it simple. How do you brand if you don't have something to stand out? So Assist You to Win. Matter of fact, in case you see,
look at that.
Assist You to Win. It's
What's
right there.
What's that underneath it?
The second one is Wintality.
Wintality.
Wintality. Yeah, it's a little word we coined. So everything's Assist You to Win. Derrick B, DERRICKB at assistyoutowin.com. That's how you get in touch with us. Reach out. We would love to connect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, in case you didn't know, we have a magical time machine here in the lab, okay? What advice would D. Butts be giving himself from 5 years ago?
Why wait to start?
It's powerful. A lot of people say that. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say that. Now, let's fast forward the clock. I'm going to make you 5 years older, okay? Mm-hmm. What advice is the older version of Derrick? What advice is he telling you today?
Listen to those that come before you, even if you think they're slowing you down.
That meant something to you.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it. Mm-hmm. You could see it.
That came from the gut.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So listen to those before you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had a coach, but I didn't listen. I let passion push me out before my time when my coach said, don't go yet. Lisa Nichols looked at me and said, you're a rare talent. She pulled me on stage my first time being with her and had me speak to her crowd. Anybody that knows Lisa Nichols, she speaks around the world. She does powerful things. I mean, she's thebomb.com. I'm in her inner sanctuary inside her suite, and she's picking my brains because I come from something that she's trying to take her company to. In the course of it, I have passion, have zeal, but she has wisdom. She says, stay where you are and let it fund you and let it force you to your next place. I said, everybody wants me. I'll go right now. I didn't listen. To the place that the pandemic occurs, and I have to full circle be back in the place that I was in. If I just would have listened, I would never had to leave. What do you learn from that, though? Here's what I really learned. You can lose money and get it back, but you can't get time back.
Facts.
Amen.
So if someone that you deem as wise, you just got to trust them.
That's good. And that's why you're going to have her at your table.
100%. 100%.
Lisa Nichols, Mrs. Nichols, or is it Miss Nichols?
Just got married.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mrs. Nichols. You have an open invitation of being here on the Vision Lab podcast. Please believe anytime. Listen, bro, this has been outstanding. Visionaries, thank you for your love and your support. Appreciate you tuning in. If you like the content that you've heard today, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to all of our videos. We're in season 10, and we're just going to keep bringing them. We got banger after banger after banger. D. Butts, Assist You to Win. Thank you so much. Remember, each one of our guests are dropping nuggets of wisdom here on the Trail of Life. Ultimately, my friends, it's up to you to pick them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. He is Ryan Cuffey. Thank you again to our guest, Derrick Butts. And we will see you guys next week on another great episode of the Vision Lab podcast.
Blessings.